In this video, I'll show you how to make interesting lines. And there's more information in my book, Ellen's Guide to Design Elements, which is only $5. Let me show you how to make some interesting lines. So in the first one, we have a uniform wavy line where there are shallow indentations and protrusions like treetops or rolling hills. So this is a rather boring line. Instead, try a roller coaster effect where it has deep dips and prominent rises. The staircase is good for rocks. It's varied yet unified. And zigzags are good as long as you vary the spacing, the height, and the width of the lines. Rather than using a simple shape to frame an image, try one that's more interesting, like this blue outline. Such a line shouldn't be so elaborate that it takes attention away from the focus, which is the house here. This one is quite acceptable because it's a natural and understandable line with soft edges caused by the foliage. The distance of this blue line from the edges of the image varies. There's room for the eye to enter the picture and go to the focus. And the line has some curved components and some straight components. And it forms a crude triangle with the house at the apex. We want to see enough of the house so we know what it is, but not so much that there's no mystery. Use line expression to simplify elements in your pictures. These could suggest gravity. These could suggest forces like tension, recoil, and bursting out. These suggest moods like angry and violent or gentle and undulating. And these suggest things like reflections or these V shapes that could either be birds in the air or grass on the ground. These shorthand symbols are often more powerful than an intricate drawing, and they simplify form and function without details. This shows the importance of line expression. It's a picture of the Li River in China, which is known for these unusually shaped mountains that look like upside-down teacups. And if you drew these shapes, they wouldn't be readable as mountains because mountains should have sharp angles and straight lines, and you should have the shapes be abstract representations of the subject, although you can distort them to express character and gesture, but they shouldn't be round like this. We can use lines to show form, roundness, and depth. When the lines are the same distance apart and the same width, they convey flatness. But if one area thickens, a form is suggested. When the lines rapidly come together, they suggest roundness. And if this progression is less marked and goes vertically up, we see depth, especially if the lines get shorter. We can use design principles for any element, so I'll show you how to use them for lines. And here, for example, I'm comparing contrast with fast, abrupt changes to gradation, where the change is slow and gradual. So let's just look at direction, for example, and here these two contrast. But when we look over here, there's a gradation of direction. Over here, we see a value difference between light and dark, and here we see a gradation. Now, the lines can alternate or they can vary. These lines are harmonious. And then which one of these are dominant? The straight ones, the vertical ones are dominant here because they're the most numerous. The big black one here is dominant because it's the largest. The red one is dominant here, and the dark one here is dominant over the light one. And when we balance lines, the big one should be more in the middle and the thin, lighter ones towards the edges. And when we look for unity, we want lines that are similar yet varied. A line transition provides continuity. So we have vertical and horizontal lines, which are otherwise unrelated, but we have these diagonals that connect them for the tree and for the neck and even for the different types of feet. Here are lost and found lines connecting various parts. So this is a real line. It's lost in this area and then picks up later on. And here again we have a line that picks up later on. And lines can enclose a shape, providing continuity. To unify lines, we want unity with variety like this. This image is too busy and has no focus, and these lines are too similar. When we have gradations of lines, they can be unified as long as they're different lengths and slightly different directions. The shape of a box is more understandable if we see its corners than if we just see its sides. So let's look at a house and put some bushes either on the sides or at the corners. And when you put it at the sides, the viewer can imagine a line going behind the bushes. But when you have it on the bushes on the corners, then the viewer has to imagine this corner, and that's a much more difficult thing for the viewer to do. This is what we generally do with landscaping, where the bushes don't hide the corners because it's aesthetically more pleasing than this image. Remember to check out my book on Amazon, and please remember to subscribe.